Hi, Sam McAfee from Startup Patterns here with a quick how-to on how to talk to executives. There's basically 5 steps to the system. Step number 1 is to keep it concise, right? So the nature of the job as an executive is to have a high-level view of the business. That means there isn't a lot of time for detail. Information gets filtered up through layers of management and is sliced and diced and synthesized until it's very, very simple. So when you talk to these people, it means you need to use as few words as possible. I'm not joking, like very well chosen words, and to try to stick to one point if you can, right? The next step is ask more questions than you talk, than you yourself make statements. So there's a couple principles here. Stephen Covey, in his 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, pointed out that it's important to seek first to understand and then to be understood. So this really applies here, right? So what you want to do is try to understand their world, and that will already open them up to you. Very few people, you'd be surprised to know, actually stop and ask them how they feel about how the business is going. So the right questions can help provide intel for you in terms of getting your initiative going, okay? And then also remember that when people tell you a lot about themselves because you ask them questions, they weirdly seem to remember you as the interesting person. It's just the way it works. There's more data on that if you want. The third step is to offer to help, right? So this is another area of reciprocity. They're busy and overloaded, and they don't really want you to just come to them with problems. What you're trying to do is build empathy with the executive and understand their view from their level in the organization, and then to offer some assistance. And you have to do your homework on this one. You don't want them to have to think too hard about how you can help them. So come to them with some possible options of how you can make what you're doing, what you're asking them to approve or give you permission for, to work in terms of what they're trying to accomplish. Speaking of permission, it's actually better to already have started your initiative. You don't want to be in the position of asking permission. So there's this old saying, it's easier to get forgiveness than it is to get permission. Obviously, you want to manage the risk if you're doing something way out there. But generally speaking, most executives play it pretty cool and don't want to be the first mover on anything too innovative, right? It's actually risky to be perceived among their peers. So what you really want to do is find something that's already working and come to them with some examples of data of how it fits in with initiatives they're already interested in pushing. That's why you ask the questions early on about what they're looking to do and what their goals are, right? And then finally, follow up. Make sure if you ask for their help that you follow up with them and get their permission to follow up with them and give them details and updates on how your initiative is going. If you end up offering to help them, don't drop the ball. Make sure you come through and make sure you let them know that you've done it. And those 5 pieces are basically the formula for how to talk to executives. Again, Sam McAfee from Startup Patterns. Look for more of these videos in the near future.